I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. First of all, I want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you're able to gather with other people, family and friends, or coworkers, or neighbors, and really have a wonderful time today as we celebrate this glorious holiday. But actually, if you've been getting a quiet moment to look at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is The Finish. And the reason why something can be glaringly apparent that it is finished is because of the way the planets are lining up today. And in fact, there is a very rare occurrence that is happening, and it is simply that there are two nodes of the moon, the north node and the south node of the moon, and their mathematical calculations. The ancient Chinese call them the dragon's head and the dragon's tail. The north node, or the dragon's head, is always a lucky friend. The south node of the moon, or the dragon's tail, is always somebody that's pretty unlucky for you, or somebody that can really bother you. And so for these mathematical calculations to have any effect, they have to be at exactly the same degree as a planet in a sign. And that's happening today. And that is because the unlucky south node of the moon, or the dragon's tail, is at 9 degrees of Pisces. Remember, Pisces rules hidden enemies, omissions, and deceptions. And it is exactly conjunct the planet Neptune in Pisces, which is direct and is the ruler of the sign. And since Pisces does rule hidden things, I think that this is a time when we may, there may be some sort of hidden revelation that exposes a secret that we rather wish we did not know. So you may discover something very soon that is something that might leave sort of a bad taste in your mouth, something that you really could have lived without knowing at all. But that is certainly possible, and that would certainly indicate or confirm that something is really finished right now. Another reason why there can be some sort of finish that is confirmed is because there are two planets in the sign of Capricorn, Venus, which is a very good planet, and Pluto. But when Venus and Pluto are very close together, or conjuncting, in other words, they're almost at the very same degree within their orbits, so they're in alignment, we say that a Venus-Pluto conjunction in any sign is an indication of the early loss or death of a loved one. And the kind of loss that I'm talking about that could indicate a finish right now is, for instance, it could be that a neighbor of yours is moving on. Well, that's a loss, isn't it? Or it can be that a coworker of yours that you're very fond of has found a better job, and so either they're going, or it can be that through a merger or an acquisition there have to be some layoffs. That could be another kind of a loss right now. And since Capricorn rules time, and these two planets are an indication of people that are pretty high up in management in large corporations or government agencies, there is the possibility of a premature loss of somebody that is very well respected. And it could be somebody older, since Capricorn also rules old age. But it could be something we weren't expecting. And that would certainly indicate some sort of finish as well. And so something is winding up right now, and the reason why, right in the midst of our happy holidays, is that there are 5 planets in a harsh T-cross among cardinal signs. Well, there's only 10 planets up there, and 5 of them are creating a lot of challenges and pressure in our lives, and you can probably feel that right now. The reason why you could feel that pressure or be facing some challenges that could represent or could lead to a finish right now is because Jupiter and the moon today are in Libra, which is a wonderful peacemaking sign, and they are being opposed harshly by Uranus in Aries, which is a planet of sudden change and rebellion and surprises, and it is in the sign of new beginnings, Aries. And these 3 planets are all being harshly squared by that Venus and Pluto, which are conjuncting in Capricorn. And so with Uranus being one love planet and Venus being the other, the tension or the pressure that you may feel that could lead to some sort of finish is probably in relationships. And so if there's something finished or it involves a secret that we wish we didn't know, that we're just going to have to deal with because there isn't any way to sort of push it under the rug anymore, we'll all have to face it. It can be that because of the pressure in these cardinal signs, that whatever we find out can lead to some sort of standoff or challenge right now, because there are a lot of people that cannot make up their mind about a problem that either is finished or needs to be finished. And because they can't really make up their mind, or they have their own strident opinions and they're not willing to compromise them, this is simply a time when something has come to a finish. And even if people can't agree on how to handle that or how to get beyond that, something is not only really finished right now, but it represents a problem that has really run out of rope, that there is absolutely no way to fix it. And so it's done. And we'll have to face something like that right now. And it's interesting that the south node of the moon conjuncting Neptune are both at 9 degrees. 9 is the number of finishing. And so this is a time when something has to be finished, or else it already is finished, and there's just sort of this prolonged agony going on, and perhaps people should try a little harder to get together and try to resolve a problem and sort of let it go. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, I think that you may be somewhat bedeviled by the fact that that Neptune and the south node of the moon are in Pisces right behind your sun sign. And so there may be something for you, Aries, that you really wish other people didn't know, and you might have been a little quiet about it for a very long time, but it could come out now. And you would have to face it along with everybody else. We'll just have to deal with whatever is a secret that is revealed that really we don't want to know, but it's out there anyway. So it's very good for you, Aries, that the Sun and Saturn and Mercury are all in Sagittarius, and they are trining Uranus in your sun sign. So if there was something that you just didn't want to face, or something that is revealed and you don't want to deal with it, you may be able to travel, and that would be very good. Or you could hear from a long-lost friend at a distance, and that would make you very happy. So you might have a reason to sort of want to get out of town, and I'm happy to say your travel plans would go very smoothly. So that's wonderful for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time when your immediate future can be a little bit uncertain, or perhaps very uncertain. And the reason why is that Mars in Aquarius is squaring your sign. And remember, Aquarius rules the future. And there's nothing stopping that Mars, and it's well backed up. Remember, it's being trined by the moon and Jupiter in Libra today. And so if it isn't you that is uncertain about things in your immediate future, it can be somebody that you know, Taurus, who's very unsure about what's coming up, or really unsure about what they're going to do after the first of the year. Or they can be unsure about their finances, and you too can be realizing that things are changing in the world, and perhaps you would have to reallocate your financial resources in one way or another. The thing that's really going for you is the fact that if there is the early loss of somebody in a position, particularly at work, you may then be able to apply for an open position, particularly if they're just moving on. Or you may decide you don't like whatever is happening, and you may decide to apply for a new job. And that's why your future, your immediate future, could be a little bit uncertain. But your long-term prospects are really looking great, because Venus and Pluto in Capricorn are trining your sun. So that's good. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, I think that you shouldn't worry about a finish, even though one can be imminent. And you shouldn't worry about a secret that is going to come out that is something we really don't want to know. And that is because there's actually nothing you can do about that once it is revealed. And that is because Neptune and the south node of the moon in Pisces are squaring your sun, and today the Sun, Saturn, and Mercury, your own ruler in Sagittarius, are opposing your sun sign. So, okay, you are facing challenges, Gemini, and you certainly don't know who to believe. You should be asking for proof before you believe anybody these days. But I think that instead you can turn toward the future and be very, very busy with future plans, because Mars in Aquarius is trining your sun, and today the Moon and Jupiter in Libra are also trining your sun. So that's great. That means that very nice partners can be attracted to you and can be very generous with you and help you out. And there can be a fervor or a passion about making future plans right now, since that Mars is trining your sun as well. So I think as long as you're looking into tomorrow, you're going to do just fine. And otherwise, you really can't have any control over the other things that are happening in other people's lives, so try not to worry about them too much. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when I think you can be challenged and pressured by people who cannot make up their mind about things. And that can bother you a lot. And that is because Jupiter and the Moon today in Libra are squaring your sun. Uranus in Aries is squaring your sun. And that Venus-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn are opposing your sun. You may endure the early death or loss of a loved one right now, and I would say the emphasis is more on the loss, and that can happen at work because Capricorn is a working sign. It rules your 10th house of career. Or it can be that suddenly you decide that it's time to retire, and people they can be caught by surprise and not able to make up their mind about something that you consider is a finished topic. So I think that you can be pressured by a lot of things right now and not able to quite resolve them all. But on the other hand, that south node of the Moon and Neptune in Pisces are trining your sun. And if there is a hidden cover-up that is revealed, and when a secret comes out, it can be news that we really wish we didn't know, I actually think it will benefit you, Cancer. It can be the missing piece of a puzzle, or it can be the answer to something that allows you to really finish something. In other words, you may have been giving someone the benefit of the doubt, but when you find out the whole truth, okay, that's it. But that is why I think that you'll come to some sort of conclusion inadvertently from a secret that is revealed, and that could do you a lot of good, Cancer. Even if you really don't like the news, it could bring something to a very good conclusion and enable you to move beyond it. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when I think you can be very unsure about your future as well, and that is because that Mars in Aquarius is opposing your sun sign. And because there aren't any planets in any of the other fixed signs, it is dominant right now, and it is backed up by a trine from the Moon and Jupiter in Libra. So my advice to you, Leo, is continue on with what you're doing. In other words, try not to take a big risk right now or a big gamble, because you are aspected to lose on the gamble of anything. So put something off for right now and realize that something is finished, but it can be something that's a part of your past that you don't need anyway, so that might not be too big of a loss. And Uranus in Aries is trining your sun, and the sun, Mercury and Saturn in Sagittarius are also trining your sun. So if you were traveling over the holidays, that would turn out really well. You'd have a wonderful time. So you can look forward to short-term pleasures, but I wouldn't make any big gamble or any big change at the moment. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when I think that you're going to have to be pretty careful and accept things the way they are. And of course, your sign rules, your standards are for excellence, and your sign rules the desire for perfection. And so you're very detail-oriented. But you see, Neptune in Pisces, along with that south node, those are opposing your sun sign, which means that it might be you, Virgo, that is inadvertently going to learn a secret you wish you didn't know. And it probably would leave sort of a bad taste in your mouth, but you'll just have to deal with it. And on top of that, the Sun, Mercury, your own ruler, and Saturn in Sagittarius are squaring your Sun. So people at a level that are what you might call a little slow, or they're not really quite at your level of efficiency and clear thinking, those people can be causing problems for you or challenges right now, and that can drive you a little bit crazy. But I'm telling you, something is finished, Virgo, and it's not you. And so the lucky north node of the moon, for instance, is in your sign. And so you're going to come out just fine, but you can be very challenged right now by the fact that people are having trouble making up their mind when they realize something really is finished, but it's still around, and they can't decide how to conclude it. And so I think that this is a time when you need to be as quiet as you can. People at a very high level do like what you're doing because Venus and Pluto and Capricorn are trining your Sun. So even if there is the early loss of somebody or something, it could tend to benefit you or provide an opening for you, Virgo. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a time when you can be really enthused about your future, and you can know a lot of other people that are enthused as well. And the reason why is that dominant Mars, with nothing stopping it in Aquarius, is trining your Sun, and of course Aquarius rules the future. And your sun sign has the moon and Jupiter in it. The moon will move on, but Jupiter's going to stay in your sign for a whole year, Libra. So you can be attracting wonderful people to you. And this is certainly a time when you should get out and socialize and join things, because you would meet delightful people that would make you happy, and they could be prospective partners of yours, Libra, and that would be great. It would make your life easier, and they can all be very enthused about the future right now and want to work with you on that. So this is a time for you just to start moving forward, Libra, and realize that, you know, there aren't going to be enough hours in the day for you to do everything, so you do have to prioritize, because you can't say yes to everything. You still need a little time just to take care of yourself and your loved ones. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is a time when you do need to be very careful, because remember, the title of the show is The Finish, and that is because of two things. First of all, that unlucky south node of the moon is exactly conjunct Neptune. They're both at 9 degrees in Pisces, and they both trine your Sun, Scorpio. So just like Cancer, you may benefit from learning a secret that you don't really want to know, but there could be sort of a silver lining in that somewhere, unless it's a secret of yours. And then it would come out and it would somewhat adversely affect you, Scorpio. So if you have anything to hide, it's going to be pretty hard to keep hiding it right now. So that's one reason to be cautious and to understand that something is really finished, and sort of don't hang on to something that's not hanging on to you anymore, Scorpio. Try to let things go right now. And even if you're not sure about your future, you really can't hang on to the past any longer. And the future can even be problematic, because Mars in Aquarius, which rules the future, is your own sun sign ruler, and it is squaring your Sun. So particularly financially, you cannot afford to make a wrong move right now, or I would caution you not to make any move financially, because either the prices are too high or you would lose money in one way or another. So try to be very quiet financially over the holidays, and try not to splurge if you can help it. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, the Sun, Saturn, and Mercury are all in your sign, but they are being squared today by both the South Node and Neptune in Pisces, which are conjuncting right now. And that means it's you too that may be learning a secret you wish you didn't know, or something can come out in the open and it could leave a bad taste in your mouth or just by itself be distasteful, but it could indicate a further confirmation of a finish, of something that has just run out of rope and it's all done. And it could be a revelation to you, because with Neptune squaring your Sun for many years to come, and it's been doing that for years already, some people could have been outright lying to you or leading you on or kidding you. And so you really, it's better if you deal with the truth, Sagittarius, even if it disillusions you, because the planets in your sign are trining Uranus in Aries, and that means there is the possibility of something new opening up for you. But it might be better if you knew the whole truth about something first, so that you could sort of write it off and then be ready to start in a new direction. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is the time when you may suffer the early loss or death of a loved one. And it could be an old friend who's moving on. It could be a neighbor that is moving on. It could be somebody at work that is retiring right now. Or it can simply be that you want to move on yourself to something. I caution you, since there are no planets in the other earth signs, I caution you to really take things just one step at a time and try to remember it's the holidays right now, and you don't have to do anything urgently, I don't think, Capricorn. So just take a deep breath no matter what is coming at you, and try to maintain some sort of steady pace and get through the holidays first before you make some sort of change or decision after the first of the year, which would actually be a little bit better timing. This is not a time for you to speed forward, because Mars is in Aquarius right ahead of your sun sign, and you could sort of trip yourself up a little bit, because that Mars is moving pretty fast. And that's why I caution you to hold back and take life a little bit easy right now if you can, Capricorn. And that is because there's really no backup for your sign among the other earth signs. So just try to enjoy things. A little closer to Christmas is a better time to make a decision, and that's because the sun will be in your sign at that time, and that will enlighten you. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time when you can really be on the go, because Mars is in your sign, and it is being beautifully backed up by both the Moon and Jupiter in Libra today. And so you can be wanting to make new partnerships, or you can be wanting to make a lot of new friends or join in things, or there could be some sort of way to make an amicable, peaceful settlement, legal settlement. So that's all to the good. The thing you really need to be careful about with Mars in your sign, Aquarius, is that it is squaring both of the fixed financial signs, Scorpio and Taurus. And that means if there is a problem on your immediate horizon, it could be financial. So this is not a time for you to take chances or gambles with money or assets of any kind, Aquarius, because you could be very sure of yourself, and you could have a lot of backup from other nice people, but you still have to deal with the whole rest of the world. And there are a lot of people, because of that harsh T-cross in cardinal signs, that can't make up their mind right now. And so you could be presuming that everyone's on your wavelength, and they are not. And that is why you should not take any financial risk at all right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, it is your sign that may endure some sort of revelation of a secret that you and a whole lot of other people would rather not know. And so it could be something a little distasteful, or something that just is unsavory in one way or another. But you'll have to deal with that, Pisces. And it could have something to do with confirming the finish of something. Remember, both Neptune and the south node of the Moon are conjuncting in your sign, and they're both at the 9th degree today. And 9 is the number of finishing something. So something is really over, or someone has got to quit kidding themselves, or when the truth does come out, it is going to confirm that somebody has just run out of rope and some problem has got to be really laid to rest. And it will be as soon as people can agree on how to do that. And they're not too good at agreeing right now. So Pisces, if I were you, I'd be real quiet right now and try to get through the holidays in sort of a low profile if you can. And that is because you may be a little susceptible to people who are not very lucky for you, or people that could be lying to you right now, or somebody who could be very unsavory. So try to stay on the side of the angels right now, Pisces. That's the best place for you. And it is quite true for all of us that we have to admit something is finished. And that could be extra important for you, Pisces. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want by subscribing to it on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.